Just the profits, it's the formula here, and yes, we're bringing you another full field rundown. 4th of July coming up, so that's very exciting. Also exciting, it coincides with Saratoga. I mean, kind of kind of celebration was going to top that, right? And we are kicking this off with Suburban Stakes. Looking back, Stephen Foster wasn't a hit. Didn't have mind frame on top, had hit show. We miss him sometimes. We do. We do. But we also move on here. We got Suburban Stakes coming up. Taking a look back at Suburban Stakes. Krupe was the winner last year with a 202.71. Not exactly the best time, the worst time in the last 10 years. Charge It before him, Dynamic one. We've got a few sub 2 minutes here. We're talking a long race, 10 furlongs. Tacitus, Preservationist, Diversify, and FNX won 2 years in a row, 2015, 2016. So what's going to happen this year? Who do we have entered in? We've got 8 horses. 8 horses entered in, including second place horse from last year. It is going to be on the 4th of July, 2025. That is this Friday coming up. Mark your calendars. Is a G2 worth 400K. We're not going to get anything Dr. Evil right now. Is it Saratoga? It is 10 furlongs on dirt. That is the equivalent of 1.25 mile. Let's go ahead and get started talking through these one at a time. Phileas Fogg, 8 wins in 17 races for Phileas Fogg. 8 wins, 4 of them in the last 6 races. So he's been heating up. Phileas Fogg been heating up. Last time out, he was Pimlico Special Stakes G3 going 9.5 furlongs in that race. Stalked the pace early on and held on to within 3.25 lengths of Awesome Aaron. Winner of the Excelsior Stakes at Aqueduct, going 10 furlongs there. So he goes the distance, stalking the pace early, taking over at the 1 mile mark, and winning by 5 plus lengths over Classic Catch. He's a stalker who is also good at the distance. Disarm, 4 wins in 16 races for Disarm. Steve Asmussen trained 4th at the 9 furlong Oak Lawn Handicap, starting out 4 to 5 lengths off the pace in that one, but losing to a closing first mission and vanishing by 8 plus lengths. Got overtaken significantly there. Ran in a 8.5 furlong, 131K allowance optional claimer, sitting 2 to 3 lengths off the pace in that one, beating Ben Doog by a neck in that one. 4th at the Lucas Stakes, G2 at Churchill Downs, going 9 furlongs in that one. Starting out 7 lengths off the pace, closing to within 4 lengths of the 2 leaders, Hit Show and Cook Creek. 3rd in the 10 furlong. He's done some distance. 10 furlong G1 Jockey Club Stakes at Saratoga, 8 lengths off the pace and closing to lose to Tylen Falls by 6.75 lengths. Tylen Falls had himself a day. Has had 1 G3 win. You have to go back to 2023 with the Matt Wynn Stakes at Ellis Park, and a G2 second place at Travers. Probably his most impressive run to date, being that G2, but really struggled to hit the board since. I mean, hitting the board in that the Jockey Club Stakes has probably been the next best thing, but up and down, as you can tell by the 4 wins in 16 races. Joel Rosario getting them out. San Siro, 3 wins in 12 races, got 4th at the Pimlico Special Stakes. A lot of horses in that race, in this race. Starting out 6 lengths off the pace in that one, sustaining and gaining places to 4th, but still losing by 6.75 lengths to Awesome Aaron. Before that was in the 9.5 furlong Ben Ali, stalking the pace setter Prince of Power, maintaining but falling 1.5 lengths short of Tennessee Lamb in that one. Brendan Walsh, Luis Saez. Locked. 5 wins in 9 races for Locked. This was a horse that looked to be pretty darn strong on the Derby Trail a year back. Not this past year, but the year before, 2024. Recently, 4th at the 8.5 furlong Ali Sheba, starting 5 lengths off the pace in that one. Never able to catch up to Fierceness and Most Wanted in that one, losing by 6.75 lengths. Was the winner at a 10 furlong Santa Anita Handicap G1, starting 3 lengths off the pace in that one, improving by the 1 mile mark, taking over, and then blowing away the field by 8.5 lengths. Todd Pletcher, Jose Ortiz, Gun Runner, on paper, definitely the strongest horse in the race. Fact that he did so well at Santa Anita Handicap, yeah, I mean this feels like a lock. There's no fierceness in this race. I think that's the point I want to get to. With the Alashiba, you had fierceness taking over the race. I don't see that type of horse in this race. Ben Duke, who we talked about earlier, 5 wins, 8 second places in 20 races. Last time out, allowance optional claimer, had Aqueduct going 9 furlongs, stalking the pace, closing for 3 1/4 length win over Film Star. Before that was in the 8.5 furlong American Pharoah Stakes, 3 lengths off the pace, closing, entering the stretch, but unable to catch up to Bishop's Bay. He's a burner and ran second at the Suburban Stakes, these Suburban Stakes last year, stalked the pace. Early on, sustained, but was unable to hold off Krupe, losing by half a length in that one. Only running a few stakes races. Looked fairly good in those races. Obviously got the right trainer in Bill Mott, so we'll see what happens with Ben Duke. Moving on to Honor Marie. 3 wins in 10 races. First at the Isaac Murphy Marathon Stakes, a 12 furlong race, starting out in last place by 6 lengths, and then moving up slowly to a 2 length lead to open the stretch and winning by just a head over timeout in that race. In the American Pharoah, starting 4 lengths off the pace, but just kept falling back, ending up 14 lengths behind Bishop's Bay in that one for 7th place overall. And then 4th at the Belmont, sitting 10th most of the race, closing to lose by 5.5 lengths to Dornoch. Definitely a horse that's a deep closer. I think just in looking at some of these races, if he gets close to the pace, by close I mean 3 lengths close to the pace, 4 lengths close to the pace, it seems like he definitely fades big time. He's a horse that if he's sitting maybe 6 or 7 lengths off, he might save a little bit for the end there. Curious to see how he handles this race here, Anna Marie. Antiquarian, 3 wins in 7 races. Most recently, got second place at the Blame Stakes, 9 furlong Blame Stakes, stuck in the pace. And second, taking over at the 3/4 mile mark, getting overtaken by Mystic Dan and losing by 1 1/4 length in that one. That was the second place there. Won a 7 furlong optional claimer at Gulfstream before that, after a long layoff, setting the pace, holding on at the end for a 2 length win over Shaq Diesel. And before that, we have to go back to the 2024 Belmont Stakes, starting off 2 lengths off the pace in that one, but finishing up in 5th. Yeah, a horse that stays just off the pace. I think in this race, without what I would see as a definite pace setter, I think Antiquarian and Ben Duke could potentially be those horses, the ones that are fighting for the pace. Someone has to set it. And based on what we've seen the last couple races with him stalking, with the 7 furlong race setting the pace, I think it's very possible Antiquarian could be your pace setter here. And then Awesome Aaron, 6 wins in 34 races. This was I won't say a recent claim from Norm Cassidy, but maybe 6 or 7 races ago, a claim from Norm Cassidy that it looks like, and just looking over those past few races, he's maybe found a spot for him here. So winner of the Pimlico Special Stakes, going 9.5 furlongs there, sitting 3 lengths off the pace in a stalking rating position, closing for a 3/4 length win over Phileas Fogg. Winner of a 131K 8.5 furlong allowance optional claimer at Oak Lawn, stalking the pace, taking over at the 3/4 mile mark and pushing for a 5 3/4 length win over Baddest Good Boy. Previous 2 races, 100K allowance optional claimers, was a pace setter for a couple races. Finished in the money, but was fading back. I think one of those races he faded back to 16 lengths, still held on for a piece. And then the first couple races Norm had him, it looked like he was sitting back a little bit further before he figured out how to rate. 34 races, it seems like Norm has found something good with this Practical Joke horse. So yeah, and he's got Irad Ortiz on the mount here. So what do I think is going to happen? I've got Locked as my safe pick. I think it's going to be hard to beat Locked in this field. If you are looking for someone to beat him, I look for a fierceness, look for I'm going to say Mystic Dan, look for maybe like a Nisos or journalism or sovereignty. And there's no horse in this race that is even close to any of those horses. So I think Locked is definitely the significant class here. if I'm going to look to get some value here, I just talked about Awesome Aaron. I don't know the odds here. I got to imagine locked is going to be sub 2 to 1 morning line. Um, Maybe it's Awesome Aaron. I like the way he's been trending up. I like what Norm Cassie's done with him. Seems to really like distance. So I'm going to take a leap of faith on Awesome Aaron. After that, got to think Antiquarian factors in somehow. And yeah, it was between Bendug and maybe Phileas Fogg, and I think yeah maybe Bendug. I'll take a chance on him as well to round out my box here. So I've got locked as the key, Awesome Aaron, Antiquarian, and throwing in Bendug there, just a little bit over Phileas Fogg. That is what I have for the Suburban Stakes. What do you guys have? Go ahead and let us know in the comments and pass around the link. Let them know about the show. Let them know you like Trust the Profits, and see you guys at the track.